Okay, kiddos, this is page 291. This is number 2. If you feel like you need help with partial quotients, especially with some of our bigger numbers, we're going to go ahead and do this together. Remember that it's really okay to kind of do some simple numbers and do some guessing here with partial quotients. So, number 2, I have 6,787 divided by 4. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out something that can get me from 4, maybe sort of kind of close to 6,000. And honestly, since this is such a big number, I'm going to start with something very simple and something that's easy for me. And I think I'm going to start with 1,000. I'm starting with 1,000 because I know I can quickly multiply 4 by 1,000, and I also know that my dividend is in the thousands. So 4 times 1,000 is 4,000. And then we'll go ahead and subtract that. Now this should be some pretty easy subtraction for us to do. Okay? My next step is going to be to figure out again how to get 4 somewhere near 2,787. I'm going to try to think what is something that can get me towards 27 maybe. And honestly, one of the easiest things I think for me at this point would be to do 2,000. Maybe think 20. What times 4 will get me 20? I know 5 will get me to 20, but in order to get to 2,000, I know I'm going to have to do 500. So 500 times 4 is 2,000. I'm going to go ahead and subtract. Again, I have some nice subtraction here. Okay. So now I'm in my hundreds place, and I want to find another number that's going to be easy enough for me to figure out what I can multiply by 4 to get towards 700. I'm really just going to go ahead and make my life easy, and I'm going to try 100. And I know that 100 times 4 is 400, and now I can go ahead and do my subtraction. Okay. Well, unfortunately I can't do a 100 again because now my number is smaller than 400. So I'm going to go ahead and try to think of something else. So I can't do 100. I want to go down and think of another number. I don't really want to do 90 because I'm going to do some more multiplication. And I'm going to keep going down until I find something that's really easy for me. Now, if you wanted to, you could do 90, I guess, because you know that 4 times 9 is 36. So you should know that 4 times 90 is 360. So actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Let's go ahead and try that. So 4 times 90 is 360. And then now I can go ahead and subtract. Okay, so now I have 27 that I need to figure out how many times I can put 4 into that. So this is where I want to go ahead and think of my multiples of 4. I know that I have 4, I have 8, I have 12, I have 16, I have 20, I have 24, I have 28. So what do I think is going to be able to fit here into 27? And I think 24, because if I do 28, it's too high. So what I need to ask myself, oops, sorry, I need to grab my pen here. What I need to ask myself is what times 4 equals 24? What did I do to get there? Well, I did 4 times 6, and 4 times 6 is 24. Then I can go ahead and subtract again. Oops. I can't do anything else because 4 cannot go into 3. My divisor is too big, so now I have a remainder. Now I have this list here of quotients, of partial quotients, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add those together. So I have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 6, okay? 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 9, 0 plus 5 plus 1, and 1 plus nothing. So now I know that my quotient is 1,600 96. And really, let's go ahead, I'm going to make all this a little smaller for us. Really what we want to do is we want to go ahead and line up our quotient up at the top here. So my thousands is in my thousands place, my hundreds is in my hundreds place, and so on. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and we are going to get rid of this. Go back to this problem real quick. Hopefully you caught the mistake that I made, because if you did, that's super awesome. Look at what we had down here. So really it's 1,696, remainder 3. If you caught that, good job. And I'm going to go ahead and do number 3 on page 291. So number 3 asks me to do 6,209 divided by 5. Okay, again, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm in my dividend is in the thousands. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply by 1,000. Just make everything easy. So 5 times 1,000 equals 5,000. So I'm going to go ahead and write that here. And then I'm going to go ahead and subtract. And I should go ahead and be able to take this down pretty easily. All right. My next step is to figure out what times 5 will get me near 1,209. And I think I'm just going to go and look for something to get me near 1,000. So I'm thinking maybe something that might get me to 10. I know that 5 times 2 is 10, so what would get me to 1,000? So let's do 5 times 200. Because I know 5 times 2 is 10, but then of course I have my zeros here, so I still need to add those back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and subtract. Now again, I need to figure out what times 5 will get me near 209. And I think I'm just going to think about 200, and in fact, I'm going to break it down even more. And I see this number here of 20. Well, I know something times 5 that equals 20. That's 4. But what times 5 will equal 200? Well, I know that 5 times 4 is 20, so 5 times 40 is 200. And then I'll go ahead and subtract. Now, the only thing that I can do to get to 9 is to multiply 5 times 1, which will get me 5. I'll subtract again. Okay. And I can't put my 5 into my 4, so I know that I'm done, so I can go ahead and add my partial quotients. So this is pretty easy here. I'll drop these down. Okay. So my answer here is 1,241. Remainder 3. Which actually, if you notice, in the first problem I made a mistake, so good job if you caught that, because there's a remainder in the first one that I did not put up at the top. So nice job if you caught that.